Hi, welcome back to our next tutorial video. This video will be the extension of previous video in which we will consider a real world example of e-commerce for explaining Python package and sub-package. Here we will know about how to organize your code better and we will create reusable package for the project. So let's get started. My name is Vipul and I'll be the instructor for this video. Now see over here, before we jump into the actual project or actual example, let's try to understand what is package. A package in Python is like a folder that holds a related module and helps organize your code. For example, in an e-commerce project, you might have the code for managing the products, you might have the code for managing the users and the orders. Now, instead of cramming all that into a single one file, we can use package to group related functionalities. For example, here we are having a e-commerce project. So e-commerce can be our main package, right? And in this package, we will have one file called init.py, okay, representing that this is my package, okay. And then we will have sub package over here for managing each entity of e-commerce separately. What are the entity? Like for example, there is an entity called products, okay. So it will have the init.py. Thereafter, we have the users. It will also have init.py. And then we have the orders. Okay, it will also have init.py. And then to manage all these things, there will be a module in this sub package, and the module can be what? Product manager, right? Product manager, and the module over here can be user manager, and the module over here can be order manager. And these modules will be what? These module will be simple Python file, which will be a reusable code, which can be imported anywhere whenever we want, right? Whenever we want these codes in some other project file. Like suppose I have a project file, I have a main file over here, and in this file I'm just combining all these things, so I can just import all these over here and can reuse it. In this way, we can manage all these entities separately, and whenever we have to debug or we have to create a more structured project, this can be very helpful for us. So let's jump into the coding part. So as you can see, this is our project setup. In this project setup, we have e-commerce folder as our main package, and we have products, users, and orders. Products for managing products, user for managing users, and orders for handling the orders. Now each subpackage contains modules for a specific task. For example, product manager.py handles adding and listing products. So let's try to create a main package over here. The name of the package I can give over here as what? E-commerce. Okay, as it is a package, so it should contain one file which will be init.py. Okay, and now this guy will have the other sub packages. The sub package name can be what? It will be products, right? There'll be one sub package that will be users, and then we will have what? We will have the next thing which is called orders. Okay, so spelling should be correct. Okay, now I'll start with the products part. Product is a sub package, so I'll create over here one more file which is called init.py. And then I'll create the same thing for other sub packages as well. All right, for users also. All right, and then in the products, I'll create few files. Okay, like for example, I'll create product manager.py, a Python file, product manager.py, which will be my module for managing the product. And then we can have one more file that can be, for example, inventory.py. Okay, now in this thing that is users, I can have user manager .py, and then I can have one more file that can be your authentication.py. Okay, for authenticating the user. And then we can have the orders. I can have the files or the modules such as order manager. Okay. And then I can have the things like payment.py. Where is payment? It just not created. Let me just create one more. Payment.py. So what do we have? You can say see the structure over here created properly. Now we will write the script for it. For example, let's try to write the script for product manager. So for the product manager, I'll create a few functions like def add products. Okay. And then we can have one more function over here named list product. Okay. So while adding the product, what we require? We require name. We may require price, and we can use what stock. Okay. Now here we can just print few things such as, right. And then we can just write over here print listing all products. That looks good, right? I'll save this guy and then I'll go to like suppose order manager or user manager. We can just write the code for order manager or user manager as well. So for order manager, it can be what def create order. Okay. And then quantity, I can just mention over here. Let's say quantity X quantity. I hope this is fine. Okay. Now, if we want to add few more informations, we can add, and thereafter we have to list. So def list orders. Okay. Then I'll just print over here listing all orders. That looks good. And thereafter we can do the similar thing for the user manager. So let's say I'll write over here def add users. Okay. So these are the files that we have created. Now we'll see how to use this package in the script. Okay. So in our main file, we'll just create one. We'll create one more file which is called main.py. Okay. We'll import the functions and functions of e-commerce packages and call them. Right. So let's try to create a main.py. Right. So over here, I'll create main.py. All right. And in this main.py, I will just import all the packages and models that we created. For example, first we'll import from e-commerce dot products dot we have a product manager, right? So in the e-commerce, we have products, and in the products, we have product manager, right? So we are importing it, import. What are the functions we created? We had created over here add product. Okay. And we had also created what list products. Okay. Same way we have to import the other modules, for example, from e-commerce dot users dot user manager. Import what other functions we created? Add user, and we created list users. Okay. And then from e-commerce dot orders dot order manager, import create order and then list order. Okay. These are the modules we created in the respective package and we just imported them. Now we'll just use those functions one by one. Like for example, I have to add product. So I can just use these functions over here, add product. Okay. And then I'll just call it what? Let's say laptop. Okay. And here I have to add price. So let's say 1200 and I have to add a stock. Thereafter, I can add one more product. Okay. Let's say smartphone. Okay. And here it can be price. And then we can use the number of stocks, right? And then I can call the list products function which will list these products, okay, and will just give you the information. Thereafter we have to add the users, so adding users, okay. This is what adding products, okay. And then after this adding users, and then we have to do what? Creating orders. All right. So in the adding users, we do what? We'll call add user function, add user, and we'll just give it a name. Let's say John Doe. Okay. And here I can just give over here the email ID that is required, John Doe @example.com. Fair enough. And then we can just trigger list users. Okay. And then we can call create user function. So create order function. So in the create order, we required the things like name of user, let's say John Doe. Thereafter, we required what the name of the product, it is laptop. Okay. And then we required the quantity. This one, okay, like how many product user is purchasing, right? Thereafter, we will do what? List users or list orders over here, because we are listing the orders. Once it is done, what we do? We will now, when we run the main.py, okay, that means this particular file, the main.py, when we execute it, what will happen? I'll get the output according to the method or the functions that we triggered, right? So before executing it, make sure all the files that we created are saved. Okay, for example, these are all looking saved, but this one is showing dot, that means this is not saved. So just Control and S. This is also not saved, Control and S. So everything is now saved. Okay, now let's try to trigger this file. So we'll do what? We'll just trigger this file over here and see what are the outputs we are getting. So first you can see it triggered what? The product package, product sub package, and from the product sub package, it triggered the thing like add product and add product for 2 times, and then list product. So that's why we can see over here product laptop added because of list product function, and product smartphone added. So we call the module product manager, and then we trigger the functions within it. Thereafter, we call the module what? Add user manager. Okay, and from user manager, we trigger the function add user and then list user. So because of list user, this is what we are getting, right? And thereafter, we are going to trigger the module called order manager, and because of order manager, we are calling 2 functions, and this is the result we are getting, right? So isn't it very simple and easy to use? Okay, so with this setup, we have modularized our code, making it reusable and easy to maintain, isn't it? Now, I'll tell you why using package is a game changer. It gives us an organized code, which means you can logically group related functionality. It gives us reusability. Code can be reused across different projects, and then you can see how it is getting reused. And then scalability is also there. Adding new features is easier in a structured project. If you have to add a new feature, it can be easily added, okay, because it is very structured kind of a project that we have. Now, if we want to add, suppose, payment functionality in our e-commerce app, we can simply add a new payment.py, right? That can be a module inside the orders sub-package without touching the rest of the code, isn't it? So that's how you can create a package and sub-package in Python as a real-world example. Now, if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the channel. And let me know in the comments whatever the Python topics you would like me to cover, and whatever the things of MLOps concept that you want me to cover. And just keep learning, keep coding, and happy coding. Thank you, everyone.